Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Transitioning to Remote Learning, Lessons Learned. I'm John Wild, and I'm the Associate Director of the Center for Educational Innovation here at UB, and thank you for joining us today. Before we get started with our presentations, I want to share just a few guidelines about your participation today. To limit distractions for our presenters, please keep your audio on mute the entire time. If you would like to ask a question during any presentation, please use the chat feature to type in your comments. A facilitator will pass these questions along to the presenter at the conclusion of their formal presentation. Finally, all our presentations today are being recorded and will be available to view on our CEI website early next week. Now, I would like to welcome Graham Hamill, UV's Vice Provost for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Graduate School, to share some introductory thoughts. Graham?
Thanks, John, and good morning, everybody. I'm really happy to welcome all of you to this conference, which I'm sure you know is titled Transition to Remote Learning, Lessons Learned. This past spring, everybody experienced the remarkable event of our transition to remote learning in order to ensure the health and safety of our campus community. And it was truly a remarkable effort. I think that the effort worked entirely because of our incredible faculty and staff who made this happen, the transition happen under very challenging circumstances and within a very, very tight framework. We had about 10 days to make this work, and it is absolutely stunning that it worked. Everybody here at the conference really speaks to the level of expertise and talent and the commitment that exists at the school level, at the department level, and at offices all across UB. Again, it is amazing that we were able to pull this off. As the title of the conference implies, the goal is to really dig into what we've learned from that transition as we prepare for teaching in the 2021 academic year. I think that if we had our choice, we would be in a really different situation. We would never have done this, but in fact, there are some remarkable pedagogical innovations that emerged from the transition, and this is really a great opportunity to learn about those innovations, and hopefully people can continue to offer the highest quality of education to our students in a largely remote environment. So I want to thank all of the presenters and the panel members that you're going to hear from today. The presenters are faculty who have developed really successful practices in this transition last spring, and who can provide good insight into how we look ahead as we prepare for the upcoming semester. And likewise, the expert panel is comprised of individuals whose offices were and also will continue to be throughout 2021 at the real academic center of this transition. So thank you very much to both groups for your leadership and for your willingness to share your expertise. I sincerely hope that the perspectives and the dialogue and the tips that are shared and produced today at the conference help in the task of collectively reflecting as a campus on what happened this past spring so that we can move forward with greater knowledge of how to successfully adapt to these new and hopefully temporary circumstances. This past spring, as I said before, we were really just blindsided by the pandemic. I was kind of thinking this morning before these remarks of when we announced, when the governor said we were going remote, and my own thinking before that moment. And I remember about a week before that announcement, really kind of having conversations at home about, I think this is a little more serious than I had thought initially. And I kind of suspect that most people here had the same kinds of conversations at home. We were really blindsided this past spring. Like I said, we had about 10 days to make a transition to remote learning. We responded as an institution and as individuals very quickly and immediately. We continue to offer very high quality education to our students, and we really successfully safeguarded the health of our entire institution. This semester is a little different in that we really have the opportunity to be more deliberative and more comprehensive in how we're moving forward. So we're engaged in a comprehensive planning process to chart the most effective and safe course that we can envision moving forward into the fall. And today's conference supports that commitment to the same kind of deliberative and careful process. by which we're all seeking to improve our pursuit of advancing the university's mission of academic excellence. So on behalf of the Office of the Provost and also the Office of Academic Affairs, I want to thank all the participants for your willingness to engage in this critical dialogue, and I give you best wishes for a fruitful and enriching conference.
Thank you, Graham. Over these past few months, our Center for Educational Innovation has played an important role in assisting faculty transitioning to remote teaching. So I invite Christine Kroll, our center's director, to share a few thoughts. Christine?
Well, I want to thank Graham and John for getting everything started, and also the team at CEI who worked tirelessly to pull everybody together today. And I'm really excited to share that we have over 180 faculty registered for today's event. Ever since we kind of started these faculty academies back in 2019, we've seen an increased amount of faculty coming to our center. And it was really exciting for me this morning to look over the registration list and see not only faculty from all 12 decanal units, again, attending one of our events, but also an increase. I've started about 2 years ago in CEI, so seeing more and more names that I recognize or that I know that my staff works very closely with. We've had just a tremendous response through the emergency sessions. We had over 200 faculty attend. We also have done hourly consult sessions, which are continuing this fall. And I hope you saw the little ad we placed at the beginning of our session. But we do invite you all to join in with our academies. There's other faculty from different disciplines. It's a really unique opportunity for you to meet them. And I think today as well, definitely, I think the chat feature is a great way to facilitate, but also afterwards, we can kind of follow up by looking at what those questions were and then designing customized experiences that we may not currently have on our website or through these types of events. So we would love to hear from you after. And basically the whole staff is on today because we want to learn more about what faculty are thinking, what types of questions are still left. And we will continue to email out through our campaigns to all faculty on campus to let you know to please sign up, and we're here for you. And I can tell you our team on the UB Learn side and on the design team side, I've seen if they don't know the answer to a question, they will find the answer, whether it's through our own team or through our partners in the libraries, through the decanal units have instructional staff in many units now. UBIT, our network is growing, and the staff worked over the semester or the summer as a team to pull together a lot of the resources that maybe we had individually, and through the different groups, we pulled those together under the Teach Anywhere site. So when you see that site will continue to be refined, but we're trying to have one place for faculty to be able to go. And then depending on your question, whether it's technical in nature, whether it's for UB Learns, libraries, or maybe instructional opportunities that embed all of those together, it'll push you in the right direction. So I encourage you to look at the Teach Anywhere site. And with that, I just want to thank our faculty that are presenting today and our expert panel. I know this is really close to the start of the semester, but we're really pleased with the response and happy that we have so much to share with you today. And please feel free to share back, ask questions. And many experts are on the call as well. So I know that you have some things that you might want to chime in with. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Christine. We do have a few extra minutes before the start of our next presentation. So Christine, I was wondering if you could maybe just elaborate a little bit more on maybe the CEI academies that are offered to faculty. Just give us a little bit more information while we get set up for our first presentation.
Sure, that would be great. So as I said, there are some graduates of the academies on this call, but in 2019, we first started offering academies that were based on on-campus teaching methodologies because 99% of our faculty taught on campus. So we did that throughout the 2019 through spring and summer and fall. And fortunately, we had started writing the online teaching academies. And unfortunately, we were going to remote learning about 1.5 months too early. So we did, do some emergency sessions and had our research and development staff continue to finish those online teaching academies. And I'm pleased to say this summer, we have already had about, I think we're at about 110 faculty that have graduated. The academies are 4 sessions. They're each 3 hours, which does seem daunting. However, at the end of those 12 hours, you will actually leave with a course plan that's been reviewed by a learning designer. You will have built a full module at the beginning of your class so that you can then replicate that for your other weeks or modules, however you handle that in your course. And that will include not only the pedagogy, but also all of the UB supported tools. I would love to go into my anecdotes. I'm not going to do that, but we are compiling a lot of the feedback from faculty that we will share on the website. But we have faculty that thought they couldn't learn anything new. They've been doing this for years, but they just kind of wanted to check this out and see what we were doing. And they've moved forward to use Panopto to do their slideshows, but also put questions right within that to do some formative assessment before the big test. We've also talked a lot with faculty one-on-one. Our learning designers do consults sometimes before people start the academies and many times after, because we're starting to build those relationships with faculty where they know who taught the course to them for 4 sessions. They've developed some relationships with them and also with the other faculty in the session. And they have a network now. Instead of just being one person going to a one-time workshop, they're really having that full experience of, I'm going to create a course that's meaningful, that's aligned to every assessment will have complete alignment to the outcomes along with every material that I choose. So we really run you through all of that and then encourage you to keep coming back and talk to us about where it's gone. And if you don't mind me adding real quick, John, we do have a research study that's funded as well to show this long-term progression from investing in faculty development to directly impacting student success. And we have a lot of faculty that have already shared some stories, as well as our research goes through and interviews faculty and also helps them further develop their course in the research track.